every time I thought about it, I got butterflies in my stomach and goosebumps, so I was doing my best not to. I smiled at our researcher Sally as I sank into my chair in the drugs pod. The room is split up into various different pods or work areas, demarcated by brown felt dividers that stand to about chest height. I glanced around my littered desk, covered in reports both new and old, all filed with the care that only 18-hour days can produce. It was a pigsty. The divider wall next to my computer was covered with pieces of paper, some tacked over others, showing the faces of local criminals, pictures of me and the lads on skiing and fishing holidays, and a picture of a huge bride being fed cake by an equally large husband on their wedding day, with the legend "Nom Nom Nom" printed underneath. I had that up there so that I would see it every time I fancied a donut. I'd been fighting to keep my chest from sagging into my stomach for a while, and it was a battle I was finally winning. "Anything relevant?" I asked Sally as I waited for my computer to boot up. She smiled at me as she turned her chair, displaying a heart-shaped face framed by golden curls, and eyes that I regularly wanted to fall into. She should have been a model, not a police researcher. "Not really, Gareth. Just a few serials about that BMW in Whitehawk again. And one about the dealers in East Street by the taxi rank. They're probably coming over from the YMCA. Nothing new there, then, despite the fact that the YMCAs were set up to help people living on the streets. They'd quickly become hotbeds of crime, mainly heroin and crack dealing and petty thefts. And you could guarantee that wherever a YMCA opened, the crime rate would rise. They seemed to be filled with people too stupid to realize that you didn't shit on your own doorstep. Not all of the occupants were like that. Some of them were genuinely just down on their luck, but sadly they were tarred with the same brush as the majority. The hamster that ran my computer finally woke up and started turning the wheel, allowing me to check my emails and update the intelligence sheets before the morning meeting. The rest of the drugs pod was on a job in Hove, but I was exempt that day because I was giving evidence in court, so I got to do all their reports as well as mine. Not that it was a problem, since the previous day had been a series of dead ends and poor leads that amounted to almost no paperwork for once. Paperwork is the bane of any copper's existence. The poor bastards downstairs on uniform, and I mean no disrespect, I was one for years, are supposed to run about 8 crime reports at a time per officer, as well as respond to calls and make inquiries, assisting the CID teams and generally doing all the other work that no one else has time to do. Most officers I know have somewhere over 20 reports each, and are snowed under with paperwork. The truth is, you won't get in trouble for not answering a 999 call, but you can lose your job for not doing your paperwork properly. So officers will turn their radios down and sit in the corner of the office, frantically trying to finish their reports, before a sergeant finds them and turfs them out to pick up yet more jobs. I felt more than lucky that I had managed to find a way into DIU. I'd come somewhat of an unusual route, having gone on to local support team, the LST, which specialises in warrants, riots, protests, bashing in doors and violent prisoners. Dealing with the latter, not bashing them in, I should add. After I'd been on the unit for a few months, our remit had changed, and we had become half plainclothes, half uniform, so you could come in the morning, do a drugs warrant in uniform, then change into plainclothes and go out hunting scallies in the town centre. I'd quickly discovered that I had an aptitude for the surveillance work, and when I got an attachment to DIU, I'd just kind of stayed for a few years and had no intention of leaving. I really feel like I have my finger on the pulse of the city, and I probably know as much about what's happening in it as anyone else in the world.